So today guys, I'm coming at you with 5 of the most meta formations in FC25 right now that will help you guys get more wins in Rivals and Champs. If you're looking to buy safe, reliable, fast FC25 coins at a competitive price, look no further than U7Buy. With a massive amount of FC25 coins that you can buy at competitive prices, as well as tons of positive reviews on Trustpilot, follow the link in the description of this video and pop in code A_G_B at checkout to get 5% off any order you do. Visit U7Buy now and let's get those dream FC25 squads together. So you guys that have seen me before will know that when I usually do this series, I give you 5 formations that you can run at the same time, so where to switch to in game. But that's not what's happening today. This is just 5 meta formations, balanced formations that you can run from start to end that will help you get more wins in FC25. So without further ado guys, these videos tend to be hella long, so I'm just going to get into it with probably the best, most popular, most disgustingly sweaty formation in the game. Can you guess what it is? It's the 4-2-1-3. Of course it is. What else were you expecting? Unfortunately, as much hate as it gets, it is one of the, if not the best formation in the game. Ultra well balanced, incredible on the attack, and also insane defensively. With these tactics, you cannot go wrong. For the build-up style, we're going to go for counter. Now, the reason we run counter on a lot of these formations is that it is the meta right now. Since the 95 depth nerf patch, it tends to be that players are sitting a lot deeper, just because a lot of players can't defend very well manually. I'm not hating on anyone, I'm not the best either, but it is a case that a lot of people are struggling to defend, which means that they sit back and then they just try and counter you. And you don't want to be the one that is getting overloaded all the time, because you're just going to struggle and you will concede goals just by the bullcrap stuff that happens from EA. So we run counter, particularly for the reason that you can see on the screen is that it transitions quickly from you without the ball to you with the ball. And that means that all your players are bombing forward quickly and giving you loads of attacking options, which is what we want to score those goals and get those wins. Now for our defensive approach, it's going to be high 70, and there isn't a formation in this video that I would not recommend high 70 on. I think it's the best depth for any formation. Maybe if you're trying to play an ultra tiki-taka short passing formation, 50 could work, but I would say from the start, I would always run 70. It's a really good blend between your defenders being in good positions to stop the through balls, stop the counter, but also being high enough up the pitch that when you win the ball, they're in good attacking positions. So for the player roles in this 4-2-1-3 guys, for your goalkeeper, pick whoever you want really. It doesn't really matter. The role doesn't matter. Whatever works best for you. Personal preference. I would recommend David De Gea. I've been having a great time with him. But if you've got Buffon, Van der Sar, they're all much of a muchness. Now both your fullbacks are going to be on fullback and defend in this formation. The reason for that is to keep that balance. I, as much as the next guy, love to have wingbacks bombing forward, love to have players out wide, love to have options everywhere. But in this formation, to keep that balance and to counter the really quick meta counters that are coming through right now, everyone's using the wing play. So you want your fullbacks always where you expect them to be. Otherwise, it's so easy to just put a through ball in behind you and you're going to concede a load of goals. So if you're looking for balance, fullback defend, keep them in that line of 4. Best way to go. And continuing in that vein guys, both your centre backs are going to be on defender defend for the exact same reason. It's the best role for a centre back. No formation would I recommend running anything different, apart from perhaps a 3 at the back, which we'll get onto at some point on the channel, but not today. So if you're running 4-back, defender defend, 100% the way to go. Keeps those players in that solid line of 4. They don't come running out, and unless you pull them out, which you don't want to be doing. Leave the AI to do its thing and you'll become so much harder to play through and you'll just intercept everything. If you can get anticipate plus on both these players, even better, because what it means is the AI will do stuff for you and it makes it so much easier to defend. Now both your holding midfielders are on deep line playmaker and build up in this formation, which is like your old school balanced attack CDM, which is exactly what you want. They will sit deep when you don't have the ball, so they'll come back and block the back four and make those interceptions for those through balls, come out wide and stop players from getting in behind you. But when you're on the attack, they'll come alongside this forward, which means that you've got plenty of options in the attack to recycle, pass the ball around among 6 players. It's really difficult for anyone to defend 6 players coming at them at the same time. That's why this formation is so overpowered. Really great on the attack, but then these guys come back and help you on the defense as well, which means that you're solid at the back. Now for your cam, it's very much personal preference in this formation. I sort of dabble between both Shadow Striker and Playmaker. Don't touch the others, man, they're absolutely garbage. But Shadow Striker and Playmaker are the two that really work in this formation. I tend to go for Shadow Striker because I feel like it helps me out on the attack. I feel like the cam makes less static moves, and they sort of come alongside this forward to turn it into a bit of a 4-2-4, which is incredible on the attack. However, with it being counter build-up style, if you ran Playmaker here, they'd still make moves to sort of support you, but they'd be a little bit more static. So you'd use them more as a receive the ball, quick turn, and pass on again. It's whatever works best for you guys. Personal preference, this one, completely. Now for both your wingers, we're going to go bread and butter inside forward and balanced. On balance, you'll tend to find that they'll make those diagonal runs and they'll constantly be looking to get in behind the fullback. And when you're running a counter play style like this formation and tactics are, it's just insane. You end up attacking with 3 forwards, a cam coming in late, and 2 CDMs pushing their way towards the box. It's insane how many players you have on the optional attack. You will always find someone to finish the ball off. And then for your striker, bread and butter, we're going to go advanced forward attack, never any different, always a player that is going to be coming short when you sort of need them to. So if you're under the cosh a little bit, if you haven't got much support up front, or you've just gone a quick counter, they'll come short, but then when needs be, they'll quickly bomb in behind. They'll make those sort of arced runs in behind the centre halves, and you can just find the quick ping pass, quick through ball from either your winger, your cam or your CDM, and find them going through. But it's bread and butter this. They need to be fast, they need to be physical enough to hold off the defenders, but more importantly, they need to have cracked shooting and shooting play styles. You need these guys to finish off all the amazing chances that you will create with these tactics. And here's what it looks like with the ball, guys. It goes into a very attacking 4-3-3, and yeah, you will see that in this graph it looks like the holding midfielders and the cam are miles away. That's not how it works. Obviously, when you have the ball, this back 4 on 70 depth will push towards sort of just in front of the, just behind the halfway line, sorry, and then these 2 CDMs will push themselves right up where this cam is. The cam will go next to the striker, your inside forwards will be making their way into the box. You just have so many options to pass the ball to. An incredible formation, this one. And as sweaty as it may be, guys, if you are looking to get more wins and run the meta formations, you can't go wrong with this 4-2-1-3. So note down the code. If you haven't given it a go yourself like this, 100% give it a go. I assure you, you'll create so many chances, be ultra solid at the back, and you'll score loads of goals, get loads of wins. And for the next formation, guys, we're going classic. We're going old school. We're going full English breakfast on this. We're talking about the 4-4-2 flat. And I know, it sounds super boring. Sean Dyche's wet dream, the 4-4-2. But it is insane on FC25. It's so good with these tactics that it's definitely one of my favourite formations to run, especially if you do have 2 amazing strikers. You're going to want to be playing them both at the same time. This could be the formation for you. So for the build-up style, we're going to go counter, and it works so well in this formation. The linear sort of tiki-taka is insane, but it is, for me, the best formation on the game for over the top and in behind balls, because there's just so many players, as I'll show you soon, making attacking runs that really help you out. Again, you'll attack with 6 players, but the runs they make in the 4-4-2 is just beautiful. And you guessed it, for the line height, we're going to go high 70. Now, I ran this before the 95 depth nerf, so it doesn't really make a difference to this formation. The 4-4-2 has always been really solid on 70 depth. Now, for the player roles, your goalkeeper, guess what? Personal preference. Boom, done. Both your fullbacks are going to be on fullback and balance, and I recommend running balance when you've got right mid and left mid, because you've got a little bit more support defensively from them. But if you don't have them and you have wingers, fullback defend is definitely the way to go. But with fullback balance, they just start a little bit wider and they creep up just a tiny little bit. Don't know what that voice break was. I don't think I've hit puberty yet. but they'll creep up that tiny little bit more, and it just helps you in the attack no end because they make angled runs a little bit further out so that you can put a through ball through to your winger. It's a really good role to have in the 4-4-2. Fullback balance just works so well, and you'll see it later on in a couple of the other formations. I'm not going to keep going on about this. Defenders are going to be defend. Do not touch it. Now, both your CMs are going to be on box to box and balance, and this is a bit personal preference. I would at least have one on box to box and balance at all times because it's a really underrated role. As a CM, I think that box to box balanced actually on the defence sits back further than any other role. Probably because it's, supposed to go from one box to the other, but they sit so deep on the defence, so if you can hold the ball up long enough, if you lose it, they will be really far back, practically in front of your back four, playing like a holding mid, which is what you want, but you also want that option going forward. But for your other one, I run box to box on both at the minute, or I run Playmaker on one, and I feel like that gives me more tiki-taka build-up. If I want direct counter-attacking like this one is, box to box on both works super well, really well balanced, really good defensively because they both come back really deep, but then they both help on the attack as well. Or you could have one as a holding or a deep line Playmaker if you want this to be a little bit more defensive. So a lot of people struggle to be without a CDM. I personally don't mind it. I think I can operate quite well without it, but it's dependent on personal preference. So if you are struggling, have one on deep line Playmaker defend or holding defend, and they will just sit in front of that back four at all times. You might sacrifice a little bit on the offence, but hey, it's what works best for you. Both your left mid and right mid are on inside forward and balance. I've seen people push this to attack, and I think it's just too much. I think you find that inside forward balance help you out defensively, so you've got sort of this line of four that make it really difficult for the opponent to make those through balls because it's really tight and compact. Not only in the midfield, but also in the defence. So you are a lot more sort of solid at the back with inside forward balanced. But also on the attack, I feel like as LM and RM, inside forwards make that slightly more delayed run, which means that it's really difficult for their fullback to pick it up. And then it just causes havoc because you've got your two CMs running forward, your two strikers occupying their centre backs, so the fullbacks don't know whether to cut in and cover this run from your winger or to cover the run from your CM. Becomes really difficult to defend and you overload the opponent so often, score loads of goals. Now, you guys have watched me before will know that whenever I run a two-striker formation, I always like to have a little bit of variation up there. I'd still recommend both being on advanced forward if you can. If not, maybe one on poacher support or poacher attack, whatever works best for you. But for me, I run one on advanced forward attack, probably the primary runner in behind, the one that you want to be making those incisive runs. And then if you've got one that's a bit more like a winger, I run them on advanced forward support. So the one that will help you on the build-up. And I just find that it makes it a lot more difficult for your opponent to guess what's happening. If you run them both the same, it becomes a little bit stale, but the opponent can defend it quite easily. But here's what it looks like when you've got the ball, guys. And like I say, your fullbacks take a little bit of a wider position, which means that you have got an out ball if you need it. If you're struggling, you can recycle back to this left back, back to this right back, and then start your attack again. But it's all about the attack in this formation. The little triangles you've got all over the front six is insane. These players obviously will actually bomb forward and take more of a cam roll. So you've got players getting in the box absolutely everywhere, which means that you can tiki-taka it so quickly. But because of how well balanced this formation is defensively, the amount of times you'll get the ball from one of your centre halves or one of your box-to-box midfielders and there'll be an over-the-top through ball onto a winger or a striker is insane. This formation is so good on the counter, but if you're not into counter-attacking football, it also plays really good linear tiki-taka, and it's just such a well-balanced formation. For any player, it'll definitely help you score goals, and it'll definitely get you wins. So there you have it, guys. As the 4-4-2 should be, nice and simple. No messing around, no crazy rolls. Keep it simple, and sometimes that's the best way forward. But this 4-4-2 is insane. Like I say, it's one of my personal favourites in the entire game. Absolutely love using it, and if you want to use it yourself and give it a go, here's the code on screen for you now. Well, we'll say at this point, if you made it this far, you're awesome, thank you, but I will also put the codes and timestamps in the description should you want to come back and have a look at any others. Now, in this video, I found myself saying a lot, this is one of my favourite formations, or this is one of the best formations. This next one, in my opinion, is the best formation on FC25, and also my absolute favourite. I'm talking about the 4-2-3-1 wide, which is just insane for any player of any playstyle. It's really good at tiki-taka football, really well balanced, really good defensive, really good on the counter. If you're looking for a formation that can do it all, the 4-2-3-1 wide is amazing, and with the amount of people that are running the 4-2-1-3, this is the perfect counter for it as well, so you cannot go wrong running these tactics. For the build-up style, we're going on counter, and in this formation that is purely to get the players in their attacking positions faster. It's not all about getting in behind because of how the team is laid out and the player roles. It won't work like that. So you'll still play insane tiki-taka football, you'll still control the play, but you'll do it really quickly. Fast tiki-taka, what this formation is all about, and it works so smoothly. It's a beautiful thing. And then you guessed it, line height high 17. What more can be said? Now, player roles for the defenders are the same as the 4-4-2 that I just showed you, so your goalkeeper personal preference, fullbacks on balance to offer you that tiki-taka build-up, defenders on defender defend to defend. Duh. But then it changes a little bit as you go forward. So your central defensive midfielder on the right or left, whichever works best for you, one of them will be on holding defend, and they're going to sit in front of your back four at all times, offering you that more defensive solidity, and against the 4-2-1-3, sitting next to their cam when they're on the counter and stopping those fast breaks. With your other CDM being on deep line playmaker build up, and this needs to be your proper box to box player. I don't know why they're this way, obviously nor where the players are, but I would have someone like Rice, McTominay, someone like that, really good box to box, that's going to be able to bomb forward but also get back and really help you defensively. And for the first time today, your cam is actually going to be on playmaker. Again, like I always say, it's personal preference. Shadow striker works well as well, but I found in this formation particularly for that fast tiki-taka, having a more static playmaker works. Oh, it's just beautiful. They're always your out ball no matter what the situation. They're always there showing for the ball, and then they'll do the quick pass on, great through balls through to your wingers or your striker. You'll create so many opportunities using this playmaker. Your wingers are both on inside forward and balance, runs very similar to the 4-4-2 that I just showed you. They're going to make those late runs into the box, they're going to be an option for the pass all times, and they're going to try and evade your opponent's fullbacks where they can, and you use them for either the quick build up or bombing in behind and doing a Trivela or finesse shot. Whatever works for you. Crucial role, these ones, they work so well. And then again, your striker is on advanced forward attack, but you can play around with this, man. I run attack because they sort of, the AI makes the decision for me as to whether to come short or to go in behind. But what also works really well in this position is advanced forward support. In this formation, I floated between the two. Honestly, I can't decide. The wide runs that they make on advanced support are really good for the tiki-taka build-up, but if you're looking to be proper counter like I like to play at times, then advanced forward attack is the way to go. But you play around with it, see what works best for you. And here's what it looks like with the ball, guys, and I know it looks crazy, but it doesn't actually play like this. So your deep line playmaker build-up is actually going to run to the left of your playmaker. Your playmaker will stay more static, so you get them running towards the box, your wingers cutting inside, and your advanced forward running behind. You've got so many options for the tiki-taka smooth build-up, whilst being really solid in the middle. So when you lose the ball, the quick counter is really difficult because you've got sort of two players getting back into central positions, and then your holding midfielder that's been there the entire time. It just works super well. Really good counter on the 4-2-1-3, but a really good formation and tactics in its own right. And like I say, guys, I wouldn't say this if it wasn't true. This is my favourite formation on the game. I absolutely love using it. So well varied. You can use it in so many different ways, and you can just adapt during the game. If you're struggling with the tiki-taka build-up or they're on high pressure, you can just do balls over the top and someone will be there. Likewise, if they're playing really defensively, you can pass it around for days and frustrate your opponent. It's not tied to just one way of playing, and that's why I absolutely love it, and that's why I think it'll really help you to get a lot of wins in FC25. So note down the code, give it a try yourselves, comment down below how you feel. Now, the next formation I'm going to show you has made a huge comeback over the last couple of weeks, especially since the 95 depth patch. All of a sudden, this was one of the most popular formations at the start of FC25, and then it sort of disappeared into the ether, never to be seen again. Or so we thought. Pro scene everywhere now, this formation is really popular again, and for good reason. It is incredible. I'm talking about the 4-4-1-1 midfield, or brackets 2, whatever your preference is. Runs very similar to the 4-2-3-1 that I've just showed you, and it's just incredible. But with it being CMs, there's a slight tweak to this formation that makes it a lot more tiki-taka, offers you brilliant build-up, and your players are always in the right position to get the ball. But the tweak is that your build-up style is actually going to be balanced, and I found in this formation, on counter, all the players get forward way too fast, they step on each other's toes, and then you're just going to struggle for build-up. Because it's not 2 DMs and it's 2 CMs, how we're going to run it is that we want them making later runs, which is what balanced helps you with, but also because you don't have the DMs, you could be susceptible on the sort of counter-attack. So making those slower runs to get into their attacking position means that if you do lose the ball, most of your players are still in a good defensive shape, which is what you want with this formation. And then your line height is 70. Moving on. For the player roles, your goalkeeper, again, personal preference. Both your centre-backs are on defender defend, and your full-back, again, is on full-back and balance, because that's how I like to run it when I've got an inside forward balanced RM or LM. But what I would say is, in this formation particularly, you could push one onto wing-back, and that works really well. It gives you so much options going forward if you want this to be a bit more offensive. Because you're running that balanced build-up style, you are a little bit less susceptible defensively, which could mean that the wing-back could work for you. Now, like with the 4-4-2, I go for perfect balance here, so I run both the CMs on bots-to-bots and balance, and I personally think that is the best way to run this formation. They both bomb forward past your cam, give you plenty of options up front, but likewise, when you defend, they'll come back and sit in a more holding midfield role, which is exactly what you want. It operates defensively like the 4-2-3-1, and on the attack, you have more options. It's incredible. For your cam light with the 4-2-3-1, and for the exact same reason, we're going to run playmaker balanced. With it being a balanced build-up style, they'll be very static, and you're going to be looking for your 5 players around them, as well as your wing-back if that's how you want to play, to make the runs around them. And then the playmaker, you could often get a little run and a long shot away, but most of the time you're going to use them to pass on for the next ball. I've explained this many times in the video, so I don't need to go into it too much, but inside forward balance on both the wingers is the best way to run this formation. And again, with the striker, we're going to go advanced forward attack for the exact same reasons that I've given you for all the other formations. And here's what it looks like with the ball, guys, and why this formation has made the list is because it's so good both offensively and defensively. You've got all these options moving forward, but also look how compact that midfield is. Like, it's really difficult to bomb a ball through 5 players that narrow, which means that they're going to have to look out to their fullback, and the amount of times that you'll just intercept the ball, or you'll manage to have to force them to do a long ball, which you'll then get and start your attacks again, is insane. A really good formation, this one. If you're looking for a balanced but really good attacking formation, I'd definitely give this one a try. And to that end, guys, here's the code for you. Get noted down. Honestly, it's close to being my favourite formation in the game, this one, especially now that the 95 depth nerfs come in. The CMs have a lot more space, and it just means you get some beautiful creative build up, and with it being balanced, it's just a little bit slower, suitable more to a tiki-taka player, but still with plenty of options to do those fast build up play, runs in behind and score loads of goals. But finally, guys, what if you're the sort of player that just likes options everywhere in the attack? Still solid defensively, still not going to cause you any hassles where you're like in an all-out attack formation, but just tiki-taka passing options everywhere on the pitch. What should you be running to make that happen? Well, I've got the perfect formation, and it is the 4-5-1 flat. I know, probably not what you were expecting. I promise you, it's been one of my most popular videos on the channel for a reason. This formation is incredible on the attack with these roles. You have options everywhere, and you just score so many goals. Like I said, this is a tiki-taka formation, guys, so what we're going to go for is short passing build-up. That doesn't mean that you're going to struggle to get in behind, because rather than the runs being in behind, the options for the pass and the L1 triggering are going to make it so that your players have no option other other than to be in behind. It's absolutely insane the amount of options you have in the attack. And your line height, as always, is going to be 70. For the player roles, your goalkeeper personal preference. Now for your fullbacks, guys, I do run fullback and defend, and I know that I said that I don't usually run that when I have an RM and an LM, but it just gives me that more defensive solidity without the CDM there. If it is a quick counter, I want them in that line of 4 at all times, hence why I still run defend on the centre backs, because we want that line of 4 going nowhere. And if it is a quick counter and my CMs are somewhere up the pitch, these guys are there in good positions to defend the counter. But in the absence of the CDM, you do want a defensive presence in the midfield. So for your central CM, I recommend running deep line playmaker and defend. You can run holding if you have that as an option as a plus, but of the two, I run deep line playmaker simply for the build up, because I find that they do sit a little bit higher, and that means that when I am looking for those tiki-taka runs, if I am out of options, they're there for the recycle and then to pass it back out wide and just move the opponent around. You will find a gap eventually. But your other CMs are bread and butter like every other formation I've showed you with CMs today, bots to bots and balance. They'll come back and help you in the defence, and what that means is that you've got these 3 midfielders and the sort of wingers getting back to make a line of 5 in the midfield and a line of 4 in the defence, and that makes it really difficult unless it's a super fast counter for your opponent to play through you, which makes you super solid at the back. But then these 2 CMs, when you have the ball, will bomb forward, and that'll give you 5 players with the wingers in sort of an arrow formation running forward, and it makes it so easy to tiki-taka away into the box and just score a goal or get to the goalkeeper, sweaty pass, and then an open net. Both your wingers, as said before, inside, forward and balanced. It just works super well in this formation, but with it being balanced, they do get back and help defensively, which makes you solid at the back. And likewise with your striker, advanced forward attack is the way to go. When they are isolated on the quick breaks, you want them to come backwards and help you out in the build-up, and the short passing really helps with that. And here's what it looks like with the ball, guys, and it goes into like a 4-3-3 flat, but it doesn't actually look like this at all. When you have the ball, these guys actually bomb forward, which really helps you out in the attack. These guys make a run into the box. This striker runs in behind or shows for an option to tiki-taka it around. But what you've got is this player for the recycle, these 5 players making runs in behind and making good runs for the ball. You cannot run out of options with this formation. It's so good to keep the ball, but also gives you options everywhere in the attack, which means that someone is going to be an opportunity to have a shot and score you a goal. Absolutely loads of fun this formation, guys. Really fun to use, loads of options in the attack and still super solid in the defence. If you're looking for something a bit different, a bit against the norm, and sometimes that does help because players are expecting the same thing, you come at them with something different, they don't know how to defend it. This formation will get you wins. It is insane. So note down the code, give it a go yourselves, guys. Let me know how you get on. I'd love to hear from you. But there you have it, guys. They're the 5 formations that I would recommend running right now in FC25. One of these is guaranteed to help you out. Not sure which one it'll be yet. You'll have to try them all and let me know. But I promise you, if you're struggling with any of the meta, another one will definitely help because these formations are incredible. If you enjoyed the video and any of these formations have helped you out, don't forget to drop me a like. It helps me out, but it also helps other people see it. And if you have tried any that worked particularly well for you, drop a comment down below. I love to hear from you. And if you are new around here and you enjoy couple of daily FC25 content, why not subscribe so you can see this sensual looking face every single day. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll speak to you soon. Bye!